Hey everyone, welcome to the latest Car Buzz unboxing review. I'm Jay, and this is the 2016 Toyota 4Runner. So, I am sure everyone here has heard of the Toyota 4Runner, but it's becoming actually a very special SUV. Why is that? Because it is one of the last body-on-frame construction SUVs on the market. Pretty much everything else is either gone unibody, which is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, or they've just become crossovers, like the Nissan Pathfinder. So what is really cool about the 4Runner is that it has a solid rear axle and, like I said, body on frame construction. It's essentially a pickup truck with rear seats and a full roof. It is how SUVs used to be 20, 30 years ago, and they're just not on the market anymore. Even though gas is cheap right now, it was even cheaper about 20 years ago, if anyone remembers that. And that's when the 4Runner was literally in its heyday. You had other vehicles in addition to it, the Nissan Pathfinder, like I mentioned, as well as the Mitsubishi Montero. Even the Ford Explorer was a true SUV that was based off the Ford Ranger. But this is actually the 5th generation 4Runner. It originally launched back in the US in 1984, and this 5th generation actually went on sale in 2010. It received an update, I believe, in 2013 or 14, and it really hasn't been changed ever since. The reason being is because Toyota doesn't need to change it. There is no real competition for this car anymore. For an example, the Nissan Xterra that was on sale till just over a year ago. That was another mid-size body-on-frame construction SUV. That is off the market. And it's, it is a little sad, I have to say. But I do like its exterior styling. It's, it's very, purposeful, functional, like. This one is painted nautical blue metallic, which I really, really like. And some people have actually described the exterior is kind of chunky looking, especially the front end. I'm not a big fan of the front end design. The rear tailgate here is really nice, but I mean, I understand Toyota was trying to do something different with the front, and it might have gone a little overboard, but it's not going to change anytime soon. The 17-inch alloy wheels come standard. If you go for the top-of-the-line limited trim, which this is not, this is still the Trail Premium. It's not quite the top level, but nearly there. The limited gets 20-inch wheels instead. But on this vehicle here, the exterior does include a hood scoop, projection headlights, LED taillights. So even though it is still an old school SUV, it has a lot of modern features to it as well. And when I get to the interior, you'll see what I mean. Alright, now under the hood here, this is not a V8. V8s used to be very popular in this class of vehicle. This is a 4-liter naturally aspirated V6. It's got 270 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque. It is paired to a 5-speed automatic. Now, this engine transmission combo is the only thing available for the 4Runner today. Will there ever be a V8 option? Probably not. If you do want a V8 Toyota SUV, there is the larger Toyota Sequoia as well as the Land Cruiser, but both of those are much more expensive to this. And when I get to the pricing here, you're going to see that this is actually a really relatively good bargain. So the interior, just like the exterior, it hasn't changed in a few years, and I think that's kind of cool. It reminds me of when SUVs were much simpler. They were not, these luxury cars jacked up several inches that, SUVs and crossovers have become today. But this interior still has everything that I think you could really need in a car. And of course, it's a Toyota. And with that, you get really good build quality. These are very, very reliable. I have heard of 4Runner owners of driving these things for 300,000 miles and they're still going strong. And come to think of it, that actually represents excellent value. I mean, how many cars do you know that people drive them for 300,000 miles and they just refuse to get rid of them? And this particular 4Runner has just 2 rows of seats. You can get an optional 3rd row, but I honestly would not. I don't think it serves a real purpose. It doesn't leave you with a lot of space. And even though it does fold flat, the 3rd row, it doesn't. You just don't need it. If you want a 3-row SUV, there's a lot of 3-row crossovers on the market instead. So if you've ever been in any other Toyota vehicle, you're going to see a lot of similar things here. For example, the touchscreen display, I'll show you that in just a moment. Then the overall controls, nothing is different. If you've been in one modern day Toyota, this is all going to be very familiar. And it's just this old school look that I absolutely love. But let's start off that engine and hear how that sounds. Alright, so that V6, it will get you from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.4 seconds. Toyota claims this thing has got 115 mile per hour top speed, but who cares? I mean, you don't buy this to just drive on the highway. Even though it drives great on the highway, you want to have this for going off-roading. And this will make all of your off-road fantasies come true. It comes with a part-time rear-wheel drive, that's standard, but you can order four-wheel drive, and I recommend this. And you'll get a 2-speed transfer kits with the low-range SR5 and trail models. But the top-of-the-line limited model, that actually comes with standard all-wheel drive with no low range. Okay, and this right here is Toyota's touchscreen system. It is a 6.1-inch unit. And it includes navigation, Toyota's Entune in-car app suite, you get Bluetooth, and it's okay. I think the touchscreen does work nicely, but its display, it's not as sharp as more modern systems. Even its user interface, while it works just fine, you can just tell that it's dated by a few years. But again, just like I was mentioning, the 115 mile per hour top speed, I don't think 4Runner buyers are going to really care that this touchscreen system is a little dated. Again, this thing is about going off-roading and, quite frankly, outrunning the zombie apocalypse, because one day that apocalypse will happen. You don't even get dual zone climate control, but again, who cares? The air conditioning system here works just fine. It is all you need. And it does make me think, just in general, how much people are paying more for a lot of cars today with, that dual zone climate control, even up to quad zone climate control. Do you really need it? It's something to think about, I have to be honest. So how does it drive? Like I said, on the freeway, it's very comfortable. It's just like a big cruiser. And it does feel big. Even when you're behind the wheel, you really know you're driving a pretty good size SUV. But again, going off-road, this is your paradise right here. And these seats, actually, I know that you might be thinking that these are black leather seats. They're not. They're actually, it's called Softex, which is essentially, it's a synthetic leather. And it's designed for a lot of heavy wear, and it's easy to clean, and it resists spills very well too. But what's good is that it weighs about half as much as real leather, and for those who care about this, it doesn't contain any animal products. You also get that moonroof right there. Nice feature. It is optional. Again, not essential, but I like having that. And no, there is no panoramic sunroof available here, but again, it doesn't matter for this. So the off-road features here, you do get what Toyota calls its kinetic dynamic suspension system. So what's cool about it is that it was actually developed by a company based in Australia, and it's fully mechanical, and it won't work during normal on-road driving conditions. Basically, it senses when it just electronically disconnects the anti-roll bars to ease wheel articulation. So it means like once it detects that a wheel has dropped, it turns itself on. So let's talk safety. Because this vehicle, it is older, it only has a 4-star overall crash test rating, from the U.S. government out of 5 stars. However, it only scored 3 stars in the frontal passenger crash and rollover tests. But it does still come equipped with Toyota's Star Safety System, which includes stability and traction control, anti-lock brakes, brake assist, and smart stop technology. And of course, there are driver and front passenger airbags, side and knee airbags, active head restraints, and roll sensing side curtain airbags as well. So let's talk about the competition. As I mentioned, quite honestly, it doesn't have much. With the Nissan Xterra off the market, it pretty much leaves 2 vehicles in my mind. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, which I did an unboxing review of, as well as a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. I also did a review of that vehicle as well. The Grand Cherokee, it is unibody, so it is going to drive better on road, but it has very similar off-roading capabilities. The Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, it's a little more harsh than this, and it's also quite expensive as well, believe it or not. So let's talk pricing here. The base Toyota 4Runner, the SR5 trim, it starts at $34,000, which is pretty good. This particular one, the Trail Premium, it starts at $39,595, and it does come with the optional kinetic dynamic suspension system that I told you about, as well as a sliding rear cargo deck that'll be coming up shortly. That's really cool. And with the total with destination, it comes to $42,345. And the top of the line limited 4Runner begins at just over $42,000. And as you can see here, believe it or not, like I mentioned, they claim a third row can go back here. I still wouldn't do it. I think you should save your money and just not buy it. Oh, and here is that sliding rear cargo deck that I told you about, $350. I think that's really cool. But cargo space, as you can imagine, there is a lot of it. Just behind the second row of seats, it is 47.2 cubic feet of cargo space. And once those second row seats are folded flat, you're going to get nearly 90 cubic feet of space, which is really, really great. Again, this SUV, the 4Runner, it's all about functional abilities, going off-road. With that synthetic leather interior, it's meant to take a beating and be cleaned quickly and easily. And another cool thing about the 4Runner is that you can still lower the rear liftgate window, and that feature has not changed on this model for 32 years. So Toyota, they understand the 4Runner buyer very well, and they're very loyal to this model. I know some people, they buy a new 4Runner every few years, but like I mentioned, those who are getting 300,000 miles on them, there's no reason to, buy a new one. So if you go and buy one today, like this particular one here, 42 grand, you can drive it into the ground and have so many cool and fun off-road adventures. And there's also a bunch of accessories that you can get too, such as running boards. Those cost about $400. Even Bilstein shocks with TRD tuned front springs and an aluminum front skid plate too. So everybody, I'm out of time for today. Thanks so much for watching. Any more questions, leave them for me in the comments section below. Any more suggestions for future reviews, also leave those suggestions in the comments. And be sure to check out the full review of the 2016 Toyota 4Runner on carbuzz.com. Also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. So until my next review, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.